plan. There's something sacred about the early hours of the morning. The quiet before the world wakes, the stillness before noise, plan. The soft light that spills gently across your wounds, plan. That first breath you take when you open your eyes isn't just routine. It's permission. It's life's way of whispering, plan. You get to try again, no matter how broken yesterday left you. Today arrives untouched, unjudging, full of possibility, plan. The sunrise doesn't ask who you were yesterday. It simply shows up and asks you to do the same. Too often, plan, we carry the weight of the past into the present. We wake up already exhausted by memories, regrets, plan, and voices that told us we aren't enough. But a new day is not a punishment. It's a gift, a reset, a soft, sacred beginning, plan. The world outside might look the same, plan. But something inside you shifts when you choose to see the morning not as a continuation of pain, but as an opportunity for growth, plan. For peace, for change, you don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing. Waking up is not about fixing everything, plan. It's about meeting yourself right where you are, with kindness. Maybe today you won't climb mountains or conquer fears, plan. Maybe today you'll just breathe. You'll take a shower. You'll step outside. And that in itself is a quiet victory, plan. The sun doesn't demand you be whole. It simply reminds you that you're still here, and that is enough to begin again, plan. Even the smallest light can reach the darkest corners. You don't need to shine, you only need to rise, plan. So when you wake up tomorrow or any day after, don't let your first thought be of failure. Let it be of hope, plan. Let it be a gentle reminder that you have survived every night so far, plan. And this morning, this exact moment is proof that your story is still unfolding. Not finished, not failed, plan. Just waiting for you to take the next step, no matter how small, into a new chapter, plan. Because every sunrise is not just light. It's a second chance dressed in gold. We often believe that courage is loud, that it roars, plan, commands attention, and stands tall with unshakable certainty. But the truth is, real courage is much quieter than we think, plan. It's not about having the perfect words or the perfect plan. It's not about showing the world your best version, plan. Courage is simply the decision to show up, even when your voice trembles, even when your heart is heavy, plan, even when you don't feel ready, plan. There's a kind of bravery in just being present, in allowing yourself to exist without performance, without masks, plan, without apologies. We spend so much time chasing perfection that we forget the power of authenticity, plan. You don't have to wait until you've healed completely to step forward, plan. You don't need to have it all together to take the first step. Sometimes the most courageous act is just saying, I'm here, plan, as I am. And that is more than enough. Being present means standing in the moment, even when it's uncomfortable, plan. It means choosing to stay with your pain rather than running from it, plan. It means listening to your own heartbeat and honoring your own breath. Even when everything inside you wants to disappear, plan. Presence is not passive, it's a choice. A choice to stay, to feel, to keep going, plan. And that kind of presence, that quiet strength, is what builds unshakable courage over time, plan. So if you're waiting for the perfect version of yourself to show up before you begin, stop. You don't need to be fearless, plan. You just need to be honest. You just need to be here, in this breath, in this moment, plan. That's where courage is born, not in perfection, but in your willingness to be fully human, exactly as you are, plan. We often overwhelm ourselves with the idea that change must be grand, dramatic, and immediate, plan. We see others seemingly leaping ahead in life, achieving milestones, and we wonder, what's wrong with me? But the truth is, plan, life isn't moved by leaps. It's moved by steps. Tiny, consistent, often invisible steps that may not seem like much today. Plan. But will shape the future in ways you can't yet imagine. There is extraordinary power in one single step. Plan, the step you take out of bed when your heart feels too heavy. The step you take to speak up, even if your voice shakes. Plan. The step you take to breathe deeply and choose peace over panic. These aren't just actions, they're declarations. They say, plan. I may not have all the strength, but I have enough to try. And that one step, taken with intention, plan, can be the beginning of everything. You don't need to know the whole path. You don't need to see the finish line. Plan. Sometimes all you need is to move forward. Even if it's slow, even if it's clumsy, even if no one else sees it. Plan. Don't let the size of the mountain intimidate you into staying still. Your journey is not measured by speed, plan, but by your willingness to continue. And every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. So take the step, plan. Even if it's just getting through today, even if it's just whispering, plan. I'll try again tomorrow. You don't have to change the world today, just your direction. Because healing, growth, plan, and transformation don't happen in loud moments. They happen quietly in the space between fear and movement, in the sacred plan, powerful decision to just begin, plan. There's an invisible clock society places on our shoulders. One that ticks loudly with comparison pressure, plan, and the fear of being left behind. We look at others and think, they're ahead of me, plan. I should be there by now. But your journey was never meant to match theirs. Your timing is not broken. Your pace is not wrong, plan. You are not late. You are becoming. Becoming isn't linear. It doesn't come with clear milestones or perfect timing, plan. Some people bloom early, and some bloom quietly in the shadows, years later, but bloom they do. And you will too, plan. The seed never rushes the soil. It doesn't question the darkness, plan. It simply trusts that something sacred is forming beneath the surface, even when nothing is visible above ground, plan. That's what becoming looks like. Slow, patient, and powerful. You are learning things the world can't see, plan. You're healing from wounds no one claps for. You're carrying burdens that don't fit into highlight reels. And through it all, plan. You are still showing up. That's not falling behind. That's courage. That's depth. That's strength, plan. The version of you that is unfolding right now may not feel successful. But it's real, it's honest, plan. And it's preparing you for something more meaningful than anything fast success could ever give, plan. So stop measuring your life by someone else's chapter. Stop letting timelines define your worth, plan. What you're going through, the quiet struggles, the invisible growth, the slow rising, is not wasted time, plan. It is the sacred space where transformation begins. You are not where you were yesterday, plan. And that is proof enough that you are not behind. You are becoming, plan. We live in a world that teaches us to hide our broken pieces, to cover them with smiles, to silence them with distractions, plan. To pretend we're fine even when we're not. But strength doesn't come from pretending, plan. It comes from showing up with all that you are. The wounds, the cracks, the scars. And saying, this is me, plan. And I'm still standing. You don't need to be whole to be worthy. You don't need to be fixed to be seen, plan. There is a quiet bravery in choosing to show up when your heart feels heavy, when your soul is tired, plan. When you're not sure how to put one foot in front of the other, but you do it anyway. That is enough. That is more than enough, plan. The world may tell you that value comes from perfection, from polished exteriors and flawless performance, plan. But your value was never rooted in image. It lives in your truth. And your truth is beautiful, even when it's broken, plan. You are allowed to arrive in pieces. You are allowed to speak through tears, to move slowly, to feel deeply. Plan. Your brokenness is not a weakness. It is a form of humanity that most people are too afraid to show. But you show up anyway. Plan. And in doing so, you become a lighthouse for others who are lost in their own darkness. They see your courage. Plan. Not in your perfection, but in your willingness to be real. So if you're showing up today feeling fragmented, know this. Plan. Your presence still matters. Your voice still matters. Your effort still matters. Even broken, you carry light. Even hurting, plan, you carry strength. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply keep showing up exactly as you are. Plan. We often mistake exhaustion for weakness, as if pausing somehow proves we've failed. Plan. But even the strongest hearts need time to breathe. Even the fiercest warriors take off their armor. Plan. Rest is not a retreat from purpose. It's a return to it. When you rest, you're not giving up. You're gathering strength. Plan. You're allowing yourself to recalibrate, to feel, to simply exist without the weight of expectation. Plan. You are allowed to stop and tend to your wounds. Plan. You are allowed to put your hands on your chest and feel your heart beat. Not to rush it, not to fix it, but to honor it. Plan. Rest is sacred. It gives you space to reflect, to heal. Plan. To listen to the parts of yourself that are often drowned out by noise and hustle. Plan. Some of your deepest breakthroughs won't come in moments of action. They'll arrive in the stillness. Plan. In the quiet moments when you finally let yourself just be. Rest is not the opposite of growth. It's part of it. Plan. Flowers don't bloom all year. The sky doesn't stay bright forever. Even the ocean has tides. Rising, falling. Plan. Retreating only to return stronger. So why do we expect ourselves to be endlessly moving, endlessly productive? Plan. You are a human being, not a machine. And sometimes the most powerful act of resilience is to stop, not to quit. Plan. But to give yourself permission to recover. So when your body feels heavy, when your mind feels scattered, plan, when your soul feels stretched too thin, choose rest without guilt. Choose rest without shame. Plan. Because resting is not the end of your story. It's the breath between chapters. Plan. It's the quiet place where your next rise begins. And you, dear soul, plan, were never meant to burn out. You were meant to burn bright, with rhythm, with grace, and with rest as part of your becoming. Plan. Healing is not a destination with a clear finish line. It's a process, and it often begins with something incredibly simple. Plan. Yet deeply courageous, showing up. Not when you feel ready, not when everything is fixed, but exactly as you are. Broken, bruised. Plan. Confused. Showing up isn't about proving your strength to the world. It's about whispering to yourself, I'm still here. Plan. And I'm willing to try. That whisper carries more power than any scream of perfection ever could. Plan. There's a quiet kind of bravery in walking into a new day, carrying the weight of everything you thought would destroy you. Plan. To face the morning with a heart that still remembers the pain, yet chooses to keep beating anyway. That's healing. Plan. It doesn't come wrapped in clarity or closure. It comes in moments where you decide to stay, to speak, to reach out, to breathe. Plan. Every time you show up for yourself, you gently gather back the pieces of your spirit that the world tried to scatter. Some days, plan, healing looks like progress. Other days, it looks like survival. And on many days, it looks like nothing at all. Plan. But don't be fooled. The act of showing up again and again creates a rhythm that your soul begins to trust. Plan. You begin to teach yourself that even in the darkest places, you are not abandoned. Plan. That your presence matters, even when your mind says otherwise. And slowly, steadily, that presence becomes a foundation. Plan. A place where healing builds itself quietly, stubbornly, beautifully. So if you've shown up today, Emotionally, mentally, plan. Spiritually, even if just barely, even if all you could do was open your eyes and whisper, "I'm trying," then you've already started healing. Healing doesn't ask for grand gestures. It asks for honesty, plan. It asks for willingness. And above all, it asks that you stay, not for the world, but for yourself. Because when you show up, plan, your healing begins. And that is how transformation quietly takes root. So plan. As you walk out of this moment and into your life, whether it's bright with hope or clouded with doubt, remember this, plan. You don't need to have everything figured out, plan. You don't need to carry the weight of tomorrow before you've lived through today. You only need to wake up and show up, plan. Show up when it's hard. Show up when no one claps. Show up when your voice shakes, when your hands tremble, plan. When your heart is tired. You are not expected to be perfect. You are only expected to be present, to honor your journey, plan. To keep choosing yourself over and over again. Because the world doesn't need another flawless story, plan. It needs your real one. The one where you rise slowly, love deeply, fall gently, and begin again every single day, plan. That's where your power lies. Not in being untouched, but in being unstoppable, plan. Not because life didn't break you, but because you refused to stay broken. So tomorrow, when the sun rises again, plan. And your doubts try to crawl back into your bones, answer with your presence. Whisper back to the world, "I am here, plan, and I'm still becoming." That alone is enough. That alone is everything.